Good morning, Lynn Christian here at Soul Salt. We're going to help you strong start your day by talking about your gut. Do you have the gut? Do you have the gut health, and do you have the guts to do the things that you want to do that make you feel like a badass? Well, let's literally talk about your guts. 80% of your immune system is in the gut. And the gut, as far as the enteric brain, starts the back of your throat, goes all the way down to your back door. It's a big, long brain. We now know that it's a functional brain. It has a very strong system, a complex neural network within it, and so it does qualify as a functional brain. And the job of a functional brain is to listen and to communicate. So if we're aware of it, and even if we're not, our gut is talking to us all the time. It's communicating with us. The question is, does it have enough gut health and strength to be able to get its message through? And are we in a position where we are aware enough, present enough to hear it? So let's talk about some basics. One of the first things is, if you're not feeling motivated, if you don't feel like you have courage, if you feel like you give up on a deep part of who you are, if you don't take action when you know you really need to and want to, start with the gut. There's a reason that the old ancient wisdom has said, follow your gut. There's a reason why when we don't, we say, I didn't have the guts to do it. So some basic things you can do. Number one, start with a probiotic. If you think your gut is offline, look at a probiotic. Another one is you may want to read Melissa Hartwig's book, It Starts with Food. Dallas and Melissa Hartwig created a book several years ago called It Starts with Food. It's a wonderful encyclopedia of understanding how what you might be eating may be influencing your ability to take action, your ability to be in touch with the intimations that are coming and the instincts that are coming from your gut, may even be interfering with you having a strong sense of who you are, hearing your truth and being able to live it. These things are real. So that book will be in the links. Also, the Denzels, the Eat, Move, Live 52 folks that we love so much, Galena and Roland Denzel. They have a download of things you can do to help you figure out how am I feeling before and after a meal. And this is a wonderful little download that you can find. Shannon will link that in our Facebook Live. Download that and give yourself a chance to kind of better understand what's happening with your meals that you're eating. Last night happened just for me, maybe so I could share it with you. We had prepared a pork, kale, tomato, and sweet potato stew. Lovely looking dish, smelled wonderful. We had seen a picture of it, we were ready to make it, we put it together, and as I was eating a piece of the pork, something in my gut said, this doesn't feel right. So I made a note, and sure enough, that was dinner last night. 5 o'clock this morning, something's headed me to the restroom so I could get rid of that tiny piece of pork. And it was probably because I had too much fat or something, some kind of grizzle on them. But as soon as I ate it, and some of you are relating to this, my gut was talking to me and telling me this wasn't necessarily good for you. So that's one way that you know that your gut can talk to you. There's some little things happening in the health system. Now, let's talk about language. The words we use can also activate and communicate with the gut system. While the gut may not actually use words, it has 500 million neurons in it, and it sends messages to the head brain all the time. The head brain has 86 billion neurons in it. So the head brain is where we have our language center. But those messages can come up from the gut, and they can give us impressions. They can give us instincts. So one of the ways to do that is to get coherent. So take a moment, take a deep breath, breathe in and breathe out, and keep doing that while I'm talking. See if you can get 10 times where you have an inhale and an exhale. You'll start to notice that your autonomic nervous system starts to go to more of a sine wave, more of a coherent cadence than an erratic up and down stress cadence, or a I'm numbed out, I'm just barely here, my heart just barely breathing sort of cadence as well. Coherence, so you can hear the intimations of your heart. Questions to ask this gut that is going to be talking to you are things like, what do I need? What part of my identity wants to express itself? What action could I take? What is my motivation? What could courage look like? We ask those questions and they activate the neurons within the gut. We get an impression, floats up to your head, you put language to it, words to it, or a picture. You might have an image, and you get direction. It's best if it's in concert with the heart, the gut, and the head brain, so that you have the wisdom from all three of these organs. And you can listen to my TEDx talk if you want to know how those work together. But today we're talking just about the gut. So here's the deal. If you don't feel like you can hear the instincts of your gut, try some of the physical route with what you're eating, what you're drinking. Look at some of the foods you might be participating with that might be messing up your gut. One of those that frequently people don't know would be legumes, beans, peanuts, things like that. Another one could be dairy. And also, notice the amounts that you're eating when you're eating. Second thing we've talked about today is literally have a conversation with your gut using multiple brain integration and conversational intelligence, where I've given you some questions you can ask that will activate the neurons in the gut. You can become more astute after you breathe, get coherent so you can listen to the wisdom of your gut. This is not just plumbing. This gut is giving you information day in and day out. And if you're a badass, you listen to your guts. Have a great week.